Okay, let's get going, guys. Really quickly, this is what you're going to want to have in order to wrap a chassis. First thing you're going to need is patience. Yes, you're going to need a lot of patience, and if your kids are around, try to cover up your mouth because you're probably going to swear a lot too. So, first things first, you need a nice, sharp X-Acto knife. You're going to need a backer for cutting your vinyl on. You're going to need a squeegee. You're also going to need, well, this is like an old hotel card for the door. This is another squeegee. This is for laying the vinyl down in the nice, tight, sharp places that you can't reach with the big one. You're going to need a ruler. You're going to need some Moo Clean, brake clean, or some sort of like hairspray or something to clean off the chassis. Not hairspray, guys. You need your vinyl, and you need a heat gun. So, with all that said, guys, let me show you guys how to wrap your chassis. What we're going to do is we're just going to do an easy part first, and I'm going to show you that, and that'll be that. So what we did here is we did a nice piece of silver, and we're going to do the other side, and I don't know yet, but come on in and let me show you guys how to do it. Okay, first things first, grab your ruler, because you're going to need a ruler or a sharp edge. If you don't have a ruler, you're going to need a tape measure. That way you can measure things. Take your ruler and measure how big your part needs to be. If it's got corners, make sure you don't forget that it rounds the corners so you don't end up cutting your pieces too short. Before I show you guys how to wrap a truck, why don't I show you guys one or two trucks that I've wrapped in the past. First, guys, here it is. This is my Traxxas XMaxx sand truck. This truck runs on 12S. The truck has been ran probably 10 or 12 packs, and as you can see, the wrap is holding on awesome. Now, if you follow all my steps, you should be able to wrap your Traxxas XMaxx or XRT as well and have the same exact results. Okay, literally, the first thing you're going to do, guys, grab yourself a nice clean rag with no oil on it whatsoever and some Moo Clean, brake clean, anything that's going to clean off the chassis. You're going to want to remove all the oils from your fingerprints and whatnot. Even though this is a clean part and it just came out of the dye bucket, you still want to use some sort of cleaner to make sure you get it nice and clean. So wipe it down, and just like that, you're going to be ready to stick your vinyl. The next step, take your piece and grab your tape measure or your ruler, and you're going to want to measure your piece that you're going to cut out for, just so that you're not wasting your vinyl. So we're going to measure from here to there, and that piece is roughly 6.5 inches long. We're going to make it 7 by 2. Take your vinyl, go ahead, lay it down, and we're going to cut our 2 inches first. Cut it to length, 2 inches by 6. Alright, now once you got your vinyl cut out 2 inches by 5.5, you're going to want to have a heat gun, and what you're going to do, you see how it's all rolled up like that? If you take your heat gun, heat it up a little bit, it's going to flatten it out, and it's going to make it a lot easier to work with. So you don't want to burn it, so check it out. And you're also going to want to heat up the part of the chassis. Now this next step is where it's going to get kind of tricky. So you're going to take your clean chassis and your piece of vinyl, and we're just going to go ahead and start it right here with the square edge. Lay it in there as flat as we can. We may have to cut it, we may not, and then I'll show you from there out. Now, because we're not cleaning, I'm going to go ahead and take my gloves off. Here we go. Hands are all sweaty. So if you want to know the brand of vinyl, guys, this is actually 3M. They're not all made by 3M, but I found that 3M works awesome. Go ahead, take your vinyl, try not to touch it too much. You're just going to lay it down into place. Oop, wrong piece. Lay it down in the place. Make sure you're covering all the surface. And go ahead and smooth it out. And you can take your squeegee. This is just like a normal vinyl wrap squeegee for cars, 1-1 cars. Flatten it down. Next thing you can do is take your heat gun Alright, next thing you're going to do, take your heat gun, and I'm just going to go ahead and activate that so that it bends around that corner just like that. Make sure that you press it down around that corner. Just like that. The next part, you're going to take your brand new X-Acto knife and you're going to cut out all the excess. You can see right there. And that's the part where you really need to take your time. Okay, as you can see, that's just a square chunk of vinyl and we got all this excess hanging over. If you're nice and careful, you can go ahead and just start cutting it out. Take your time and it'll end up turning out nice. So these are kind of like rough cuts and you're going to go back and clean it up. Look, it's not the most pretty right there on the edge, but what you're going to do is you're going to take your razor blade and you're going to go, so just like that, go ahead, flip it over. Let's do the other side. Guys, I've heard some people say they don't have the patience to do it. I understand it's not for everybody, but really it's not too difficult. As you can see, I've almost got this one piece on. Just like that. Check it out, guys. We got two sides done. We got silver on one side, we got blue on the other. And then if you really want to see what it looks like, check that out. We got blue, we got green. So that's how it's going to turn out. We're going to do orange here. We're going to do orange in the battery tray box. Okay, guys, it doesn't have to be perfect. This is just going on your toy car, but you want to make it as nice as possible. So I'm going to show you the most simplest way to do this and probably the most time consuming way as well. So in order to wrap your whole chassis and your shock towers and all that stuff, it's probably going to take you a good 4 or 5 hours. So, yeah, grab yourself a bench and all your parts and just, you know, relax and start cutting and sticking. And I think you'll have an awesome result in the end and you'll be super happy. So here's a shock tower. And as you can see, there's little shapes and stuff and whatnot in there. And all we're going to do basically is just fill up those shapes. And yeah, let's do it. Alright, same thing here. Go ahead, measure your spot, and then just cut that out in a piece of vinyl. We'll just call that 2 by 2. Alright, there we go. There's the orange vinyl. This is also PnwRaP Film Series 2080. Alright, you got your 2 by 2 chunk, and then you got your little spot. We want that chunk to go right there, on that space right there, and look just like that. No, I'm just playing. So grab your spot, make sure you got it nice and clean before you lay down your vinyl. Rag, grab your Moo Clean, make sure to wear gloves, and wipe off your spots. That way everything sticks nice and firm. Alright, we wiped on our spot. We're going to go ahead, soften up the vinyl, make it a little bit easier to work with. Watch this, it's going to flatten out. There we go. Alright, here we go. So take your part, take your vinyl, making sure that it's big enough, first of all. Whew, barely. I barely cut this piece big enough. Boy, oh boy, is that close. Alright, take your piece, and then you're going to go ahead, lay it inside. And this is where your heat gun and your homemade squeegee from the hotel works. So take your piece and your heat gun. You're going to go ahead and heat it up again. Take your homemade vinyl squeegee card and you're going to squeegee it all down nice and tight. Okay, I'm going to show you guys one more part, and I'm just going to leave the rest to your imagination because it's really not, you know, too hard, and it's just toy cars. You can start over, you can always rip off the vinyl and do it again, but this piece right here can be kind of tricky. So what you're going to do, again, get your measurements, cut out your piece, and then this is how this is going to go. So we got our piece. We're going to go ahead, warm it up. We've already cleaned off this side of the chassis. Again, heat it up. That way it makes it easier to work with. Basically what this does, guys, is it flattens it out. Makes it a little more malleable and a lot easier to stretch around the bends. So you're going to take that part of your chassis, and then what I'm going to do, just lay it down flat. And this piece could take you 20 minutes, could take you 10. I try to stick it right up underneath. There we go. Once you guys got your vinyl laid down like that, this is going to be the trickiest part to do. So you can see we're kind of oversized and we got these humps, and you got to be able to stretch it down. All I'm going to do, the only advice I can say is just take your time, make sure that you get your inside corners stuck down nice and tight. And then guys, this cutout right here is not going to be visible because you're going to have your Nerf bar there. So from here on out, just go ahead and cut off all your excess and take your time and it'll turn out awesome. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this piece out right here because that's going to be all exposed. And all right, check it out, guys. That is the most difficult part, like I said, but once you get it done, look at that. Super nice. You're definitely going to want to use a nice sharp X-Acto knife for cutting that part out there on top. And then like I said, you can see these cutouts are hidden by the Nerf bar. But yeah, guys, I'm going to keep wrapping this thing probably for the rest of the day. I just wanted to come on here, make this a quick video, show you guys that you can do it yourself and it's really not too difficult. Just make sure you're using all the right product. Make sure that you change out your X-Acto knife at least once or twice during the process. That way it just makes the process that much easier. So until the next video, guys, stay tuned. This is going to be one amazing build. So yeah, until the next time, peace out. Have a great day, guys. Keep bashing and have fun wrapping your chassis.